When I picked up the phone to ask my son Max when his wedding would be, my daughter-in-law Lena looked me right in the eye and said with a chilling smile, "Oh, we already got married yesterday. We only invited special people." The words hit me like a bucket of ice water. Special people? I, who for 3 years had paid their monthly rent of $500, bought every piece of furniture in their house, and filled their refrigerator when they had nothing to eat? I was not a special person? The phone slipped in my grip, slick as betrayal, as the world tilted. I wasn't even on speaker. How could she look me in the eye? No, that was my mind fracturing the moment, projecting her smug curl across the miles because Max had patched her in without warning, his voice a faint echo in the background. "Mom?" He'd started, hesitant, like a boy caught raiding the cookie jar. But Lena hijacked it, her tone slicing clean through. Casual, cutting. A velvet glove over a stiletto. Yesterday. As if vows were a whim, like grabbing takeout on a Tuesday. As if I, the woman who'd wired $18,000 in rent alone, month after grinding month, didn't rate an invite to the altar where my only son pledged forever? Special. People. The phrase clanged in my skull, a mocking bell toll. Me? The invisible architect of their comfort? I'd raced to IKEA at dawn for that sleek, gray sectional, haggling down to $1,200 because newlyweds need a nest. I'd scrubbed their fridge shelves bare of heirloom yogurt, restocking with heirloom tomatoes and artisanal cheeses, $200 a pop, every desperate call, while I nibbled saltines in my dimmed kitchen, rationing Robert's pension like wartime rations. 3 years of this. Their emergencies becoming my mantras, Lena's freelance dry spell, covered, Max's car transmission financed, her personal expenses, that $800 check last month funneled straight to a white lace gown I now knew she'd twirl in without me witnessing. And for what? Exclusion. A digital ghost in their highlight reel. I stood frozen in my living room, the phone a lead anchor at my ear, sunlight slanting through lace curtains I'd sewn myself, curtains that mocked my solitude now. The pale pink dress hung limp in the closet like a hanged hope, $200 on clearance silk, tailored in my mind for front row tears, for photos where I'd frame the frame beaming beside the groom I'd birthed and buried dreams for. I'd planned it all. Weeks of feverish lists, $1,000 envelope sealed for their honeymoon fund, my sister Diana on speed dial in Chicago, her squeal of "Tell me everything" still ringing from last night's call. I'd even Lysoled the baseboards, fluffing throw pillows for post-vows cake, imagining Max's arm around me, Lena's grateful hug. All vaporized, 4 poisoned syllables. Only special people. Max cleared his throat then, scripted as a telemarketer. "Mom, it was intimate, very small. Just us, the witnesses." Lies slithered from the receiver, smooth as the lies I'd swallowed for years. Intimate? I'd seen the proof that night, doom-scrolling Instagram like a moth to flame. Lena's grid, a sun-kissed courthouse arch, her parents preening in pearls beside the couple, champagne bubbles frozen mid-toast, siblings clinking glasses, all aglow in outfits that screamed budget I'd balanced. And her, Lena, in that dress, the one my check had likely stitched, radiant without a single nod to the woman who'd bankrolled the bliss. No at Renati Richter tag, no could have been here caption, just #forever vibes, a private party where the provider got the boot. The call ended in static, Max mumbling, "We'll talk soon," Lena's laugh a faint, tinny afterthought. I dropped the phone, the clatter echoing like a gabble. My bungalow, once a haven of Robert's ghost and my quiet routines, felt cavernous. The mantle photo caught my eye. Max at 18, cap tassels swinging, my arms around him in fierce pride. When had that boy morphed into this? The one who dodged my gaze, who let his wife wield words like whips. I'd raised him solo after Robert's ticker gave out. Double shifts shelving books at the library, whispering physics facts over ramen to get him through college. I'd scrimped his tuition from Robert's insurance, the nest egg meant for my sunset strolls, not their sunrise splurges. And Lena? I'd embraced her like blood, co-signing leases, canceling my arthritic book club for her girls' nights bailouts. Fool, I'd been their shadow benefactor, love ledgered in wire transfers, affection auctioned in Amazon hauls. Tears pricked, but I blinked them back, pacing the threadbare rug Robert and I had haggled for in '85. For so long I'd walked eggshells in my own life, weighing every "how's work, honey" against the risk of seeming needy, every birthday card against the silence it'd buy. I'd been the obliging ghost, mother-in-law extraordinaire, silent sentinel, never protesting when they ghosted holidays or treated my calls like spam. But this shattered the pain. Special people, it unearthed the rot, years of craving crumbs, mistaking tolerance for tenderness. I had lost myself in the giving, Robert's widow whittled to a wallet with wrinkles. That night, sleep evaded like a thief. I tallied in the witching hour. Checkbook splayed under lamplight. $500 rent times 36 months equals $18,000. Groceries, $200 a month equals $7,200. Gifts, holidays, whims, $3,000. Lena's crises, $800. Unrepaid car loan, $2,500. Sofa set, $1,200. AC fix, $600. Total, $33,400. 33 grand $400 pilfered from my peace fund, the one Robert kissed my forehead over. For your adventures, love, cruises, grandkids' college. Instead, their comfort cocoon spun from my unraveling threads. I wept then, not soft loss, but volcanic rage, sobs heaving for the invisible woman I'd become, love bartered like loose change. Morning cracked gray, coffee bitter on my tongue. Mirror eyes, tired, etched, held a stranger's steel. No more. This table, scarred from their quick visits, code for cash grabs, would chart my map now. No frantic text to Max, no guilty scrolls for Lena's pleas. I was priority one. The phone shattered the quiet at noon, Lena's name, a serpent uncoiling. I answered, pulse steady as a metronome. Renate? Her voice, stripped of chill, laced with plea, trembling like a frayed hymn. Rent's overdue, landlord's feral, if no pay by weekend, we're out. You forgot the transfer, yeah? Forgot. The audacity bloomed absurd as a weed in cracked concrete. All those bank dashes in sleet, tellers nodding pity, my skipped meds to pad their pantry. Post-exclusion sheet dialed like yesterday's slight was fog on a mirror. Silence stretched, a chasm. Then, calm as carved ice. Renate, didn't I warn you? I only help special people. Her gasp world-ending, exquisite. The line hummed void, her stammer fracturing. Renate, what? We are special. Second mom, remember? Lies. Honeyed hooks for the fish she'd reeled too long. The voice that cooed for honeymoon cash, ring shines, dress dreams, finance blind, now barren. I hung, heart-thundering triumph. For once, she quaked. But as adrenaline ebbed, dread flickered. What venom would they spit next? Unbeknownst, they brewed it already. Keys jangling in Lena's purse, a lawyer's number etched, poised to breach my door and brand me mad. My war? Just dawning. And oh, the weapons I'd wield. I stood on my front porch that crisp Tuesday afternoon, grocery bags rustling at my feet like conspirators, the autumn air sharp with turning leaves and the faint rot of regret. The walk had been my first act of defiance, just me. No errand for them, no bank dash or pharmacy pit stop. I'd meandered past the park where toddler Max once chased fireflies, their glow mirroring the spark I'd lost somewhere between his graduation and their intimate vows. Freedom tasted like crisp apples from the corner stand, tarred and uncompromised. But as I fumbled keys, new resolve making my hands clumsy, the door creaked inward before I turned the lock. Unlocked. My door ajar like an invitation to hell. Heart slamming ribs like a caged bird I pushed inside. The scene hit like a slap. 3 silhouettes invading my sanctuary, shadows puppeteering chaos in my sun-dappled living room. Max hunched on the sofa, my $1,200 gray sectional, now a throne of defeat, head buried in hands, shoulders slumped like a scolded teen. Lena paced, tiger-cased, heels clicking my oak floors like accusations. Her designer bag, financed by a freelance boost I'd wired last spring, slung accusatory. And a stranger? An older man in a crisp gray suit rifling my dining table like a burglar in daylight break? My papers? Robert's will yellowing at the edges, bank stubs I'd hoarded like talismans, the checkbook ledger of their debts? Violated. My home, my history, splayed for their autopsy. What is happening here? The words erupted louder than I'd intended, a bark from a throat dry as dust. They froze, 3 heads snapping like startled deer, eyes widening as if I were the intruder, the ghost haunting your heist. Lena recovered first, lunging forward with that desperate gleam, arms stretched out like a supplicant at the altar. "Renat, thank God we need to talk." Her voice trembled, but not with remorse, with urgency, the kind that had summoned me to ATMs at midnight. She gestured to the suit who straightened with oily poise. "This is Mr. Fisher from the firm we consulted. About your situation." "My situation?" The question slithered out, calm as a drawn blade, surprising even me. I set bags down deliberate, apples rolling free like escaped secrets. Situation? I was the picture of order. House spotless, coffee perking on schedule, a walk logged in my new journal of me. What situation? I'm perfectly... Max lifted his head then, those boy blue eyes, once wide with wonder at my bedtime tales, now clouded with panic, not paternal. "Mom, we hit the bank. Mr. Klein said you canceled the transfers, blocked our access. We don't get it. Why? Why?" The word hung absurd. Why fund a light that barred me from its milestones? Why pour Robert's legacy into a sinkhole of silence? But before I could retort, Mr. Fisher extended a manicured hand, smile slick like patent leather. "Mrs. Richter, Dr. Fisher, family law. Your children are concerned about your mental well-being. They've asked for an assessment." Assessment? The euphemism chilled deeper than Lena's wedding quip. I ignored the hand striding to the table, gathering my documents in a rustle of righteous fury. Wills tucked, stubs stacked, ledger snapped shut like a judge's gavel. "These are private. You have no right. None." Max interjected, that patronizing lilt he'd honed like a weapon. "Mom, we're worried. Your behavior's off. Cutting us off cold, ignoring calls. We think you need help. Professional." Lena sidled closer, feigning tenderness, her manicured fingers grazing my arm, fake as the apologies she'd never voiced for the wedding snub. "Renat, sweetie, stress is getting you. Loneliness, maybe. At your age, confusion creeps in. It's normal." Confusion? The word detonated in my skull, an alarm klaxon wailing. Now I saw the play. Not concern, but conquest. Declare me dotard, seize the reins, my pension, my home, my autonomy. The same Lena who'd smirked special people now cooed like a nurse to the infirm. "I'm not confused," I snapped, wrenching free, voice steel-forged in the night's tallies. "Clearer than in years, and you're leaving, now." Mr. Fisher's tone shifted, lawyerly reasonable, a velvet noose. "Mrs. Richter, emotions run high, but your children have rights. If they believe your decisions impair, well, intervention's warranted. We've documented concerns." Concerns? A laugh barked from me, hoarse and hollow, echoing off walls I'd painted butter yellow for Max's childhood summers. "Like what? Choosing my money for me? Ceasing to bankroll adults who discard me like yesterday's news?" Lena flinched as if slapped, but her eyes flashed serpent quick. "We never treated you bad. You're family. Everything you've got, it's ours someday. We're just streamlining." There it was, naked, gleaming avarice. Inheritance accelerated, me euthanized in all but breath. 71 years reduced to an ATM with an expiration date. Out.
I commanded, finger jabbing the door like Excalibur. All of you, now!
That night, sleep dodged, but not despair. Adrenaline hummed, a war drum in veins long dormant. I paced moonlit floors, plotting like a strategist, not supplicant. If war they craved, I'd wage it sharp, wits over wallet. Dawn broke, I dressed purposeful, slacks pressed, blouse crisp, and drove to Mr. Weber's office, the attorney who'd shepherded Robert's will years back. Reputable, elder rights hawk, unlike Fisher's shark. Elder financial abuse, he whistled post-recital, eyes grave. Common as crocuses, criminal as hell. Their uninvited rummage, trespass. We document transfers, gifts, pressures, revise the will, armor your assets. 3 hours blurred, records poured, $33,400 stark in black ink. Weber's whistle echoed. Renate, this sum? You'd have jetted Paris, savored retirement. Instead, bankrolled ingrates who wedding snubbed you. Validated, I left armored, plan etched, locks changed, cameras vigilant, new account siloed. Hardware store next. Mr. Summers, who'd stocked my endless fixes for their flat, greeted wary. Mrs. Richter, another sun crisis? No, Summers, my fortress. Top locks, best quality. His son Ethan, security whiz, overheard, Providence incarnate. Cameras too, full suite, price no object. As they quoted, phone trilled, unknown number, Lena's ploy post-block. I answered dry, speak. Renate, Lena, civil please. Upset over wedding? Mistake. Max and I, amends. Dinner, your place. Cook like old times. Manipulation, transparent as cellophane. Rent owed, Lena? Exact? Silence, nerve struck. 2 months, 1,000. But not just that, Renate. Miss you. Miss me or my wire? Direct as a dart. Honest? Both. Rare candor, laced poison. Need help, love you, important. If vital, I pressed, why absent from vows? Why calls only cashed? Void again, answer none. Once, Lena, 3 years, ATM with a pulse. Used, ignored, humbled, insulted apex. Money dries, love blooms? No. Choice made, yours, excluding, mine now. Hung up, phone silenced. Liberation's afternoon, salon overdue. Cynthia's shears snipping gilt's tangles. Forgot us, Mrs. R? Or them? Forgot me, deserved pamper. Full works, cut, color, nails, $150 guilt-free. Chatter flowing sans their shadow. Beautiful, Cynthia beamed. Free, too. What sparked? Learned no is a full sentence. Homeward, porch steps held Eleanor Brooks, next-door neighbor, silver-coiffed sentinel I'd waved to but never breached. Heard shouts yesterday. Worried. All right? Stranger's care pierced deeper than kin. In, Eleanor. Coffee. Story to stun. Over mugs I spilled. Wedding wound, invasion outrage, ledger's lash. She nodded, tears brimming. Did right, Renate, my daughter, 5 years back, same script. Funded her till realization, love ain't ledgered. Cut cord, hellfire first, threats, guilt trips. 6 months, genuine call. Real bond now, money free. Hope flickered. Max, Lena, understand someday? Maybe. Not your onus anymore. Live yours. Bed that night, dreamless peace. No rent rhythms robbing rest. Dawn, Ethan and Summers at 8, locks clicking new, cameras winking vigilant. Peace absolute, Ethan grinned.
Phone alerts, intruders, cops ping. Irony bit, fortressing from flesh and blood. But sting dulled, practical, not personal. Calls ignored, Lena's relays from burners, a skill honed. Then Diana, months gap bridged. Sister, good, better, sane finally. Recount, snub, siege, stand. Her gasp then, time Renate. Calls, your brags broke me. Dollars as devotion. Wanted worn. Max's chats, Mom paid this. Never miss her. Service, not soul. Pain lanced, surgical. Lena too? Future tense fiend. Post Renate, remodel. Waiting your fade. Ice anew. Not just wallet, wilted weed in their garden. Kitchen vigil, processing, Eleanor mug in hand. Handbook manipulators read, she quipped over tales. Guilt, chapter 1, emergencies 2, resist, sanity assault. Bitter mirth, guilty? First months, yes, but seeds, their forced frugality, my bloom. Afternoon, Robert's grave, long shirked for their sirens. Quiet cemetery, his stone wind-kissed. Knelt, confessed. Lost me, love, poured into Max, mending father void. Forgot self, son's stranger, or always was, blindered. Wife, wolf in silk. Your peace fund, their plunder. Learned now. Wind whispered assent. Flowers fresh, hour lingered, unrushed, mine. Home, cars triple parked. Pulse spiked, but prepped. Cameras confirmed. Max, Lena, unknowns. Agitated huddle, house pointing. Stayed seatbelted, Weber dialed. Their back, reinforcements, advice. Stay put, police en route. Restraining order filed post yesterday. No property rights. Sirens wailed soon. Weber sedan tailing. Officers flanked. Max gesticulating fury. Lena theatrical tears. Cop to me. Safe, ma'am. They're vacating. Out, steady. Max bellowed curbside. Ridiculous, Mom. Police on kin? Family doesn't sue sanity, doesn't burgle homes, doesn't ATM Mom. Lena shrieked, pay debts, cosigns bind. Weber, through me henceforth. Consult counsel, docs prove voluntary gifts, not chains. They peeled off, tails tucked. Confidence swelled, allies law-bound, Eleanor emotional, clarity crystalline. Eleanor's dinner invite, her girl visiting, respectful chat, laughter pure, no asks. Wanted that with Max, I confessed, post apart. Will, maybe. First, respect earned, not extracted. Peace reigned days. Cameras caught their drive-bys, stalker slow, routine probing. Logged per Weber. Persistence, our ace for permanent bar. But Friday dawned ominous.
On that unassuming Friday morning, I sat at my kitchen table, now a bastion of blueberry muffins and the morning paper, not their crisis clippings, sipping coffee that steamed like unspoken warnings. The surveillance app on my phone had logged their latest drive-by. Max's sedan idling at the curb like a predator scenting blood. Lena's silhouette a ghost in the passenger seat. Weber's log swelled, each pass a brick in our fortress. Peace, fragile as spun glass, but mine. Until the doorbell chimed, sharp, insistent, slicing the quiet like a summons from the grave. Camera's word to life, a poised young woman, mid-30s, folder clutched like a shield, smile professional but probing. Not kin, not friend, official. My pulse quickened, a drumbeat of foreboding. I opened the door, chain rattling loose defiance. Mrs. Renate Richter? Her voice was measured, clipboard ready. Social investigator from Senior Services. Wellness check. May I come in? Blood turned to frost. Max and Lena's escalation, not just whispers to lawyers, but sirens to the state. Government ghost, conjured to paint me paranoid, peelable. ID first, I said, steady as oak. She flashed it, legit, laminated authority. Mrs. Schmidt. I stepped aside, knowing refusal fed their narrative. Briefly. She perched on my sofa, the sofa, now a neutral throne, unfurling forms with clinical clicks. Reports indicate abrupt financial shifts, family cutoff, paranoia via security installs, refusal of aid from loved ones, signs of decline. Every syllable scripted, Lena's fingerprints in the phrasing, her word-weaving wizardry, twisting empowerment to eccentricity. Who reports? I parried, perched opposite, hands folded like armor. Confidential, concerned parties. Her pen hovered, expectant. Call my lawyer. I rose, phone in hand, Weber's number, a lifeline etched in muscle memory. No answers sans counsel. Ma'am, casual chat, wellness, not witch hunt, nothing to hide. The trope ignited me. Abuser's balm, privacy's poison. Hiding? No. But invading? Yes. Wait or return, your call. Weber arrived in 20, storming in with briefcase barrage. Miss Schmidt, he boomed post-ID scan. Court order? My clients represented this harassment. Her poise cracked fractionally. Family concerns mandate. Which family? Weber's retort, dry as dust. The one power of attorney pushing? Home burgling, wedding excluding while wallet wielding? Folder slapped table, my abuse dossier. $33,400 ledgered, exclusion emails, trespass timestamps. Investigate them. Schmidt stand, discomfort blooming rosacea red. Mrs. Richter, why the sudden support severance? Because I awoke, simple as sunrise. They weren't kin, cash machine, exhausted funding foes who obstacle me. Family duty, her probe, societal script. Duty? Raised him to 18, tools for adulthood. He's 35, wed, able. Choice now, withhold. Weber amplified. Normal? A septuagenarian subsidizing 30-something rent? Schmidt paused, paradigm shifting. Finances self-managed? Statements, taxes, flawless. I fetched proofs, pristine. Independent? See the polish. Health? Vitamins, aspirin, exams recent, pristine. Weber? Psych evals confirm, peak cognition. Folder snapped shut. No risk evident. Case closed. Door clicked exit. Air lighter. But Weber lingered, grave. Escalates Renate. Desperation dollars. Pros hired for incompetence claim? Terrifies, I confessed, gut churning. Control seized? Possible. Lawsuit. Costly. Uphill. But greed glazed, sympathetic shrink, biased bench, guardian granted. Diana vented that eve. Depths for dollars, relations raised, reps ruined, all for access. Revelation crystallized, no reconciliation road. Money uber alles, liberating laceration. I'd guarded right, guilt gone.
Eleanor's Garden Club ambush, surprise supper, faces familiar. Salon Cynthia, Maria, Carmen, Alfreda, warriors weathered. Similar scars, Eleanor beamed. Abuse kins, tome, tales tumbled. Maria's brother begs. Carmen's daughter dips. Alfreda's grand greed. Hurts deepest? Loved ledger loss I bared. Bought beams, not bonds. Alfreda, octogenarian oracle. True love, priceless. Paid, phantom. Bomb to bomb. Loneliness crowded? Worse than solo. Now, self's finest company. Toasts clinked. Wisdom's wine. Stars that night? Brighter beckoning. Alone. Electric. Horizons beckoned. Travels untaken, hobbies hibernating, charities cherished. Freedom's flavor? Fierce hope. But Weber's knock Thursday shattered idyll face thunderous. Lawsuit filed. Incompetence formal. Guardian bid? Max helm. Stones to stomach. Evidence? He said, witness triptych, erratic claims, unpaid bills fabricated, meds hoarded, lies. Dr. Lehman's note, eval refusal as declined proof. Diabolical twist. Protection that's pathology. Witnesses? He said, Lena, neighbor Davis, pharmacist Green. Davis's curb chronic parking vendetta, Green, medman, mystery motive. Weber and I stormed pharmacy post-haste. Green blanched beetroot. Mrs. Rector, well. I asked, statement signed. Erratic meds? Probe pierced. He said, Lena queried weeks back. Strange acts? Told. Vitamins only. No scripts. She spun. Proof neglect. Document? He swore. Insurance. Signed blind. Lawsuit? He said, oblivious. Tricked. Lena's labyrinthine lies. I asked, clarify, statement now. Pen flew apologetic. Davis's door next. Hostility hurricane. Signed? He said, yes. Crazy coot. Cameras, crowds, curb yells. Context carnage. Protection paranoia. Friends, foes. Defense deranged. I asked, cameras? From son spouse siege. Strangers, allies. Yells? Eviction echo. He sneered crazy talk, unyielding Weber. Superficial spite, art countered depth. Eve's strategy huddle. She said, psych of LRs. Dr. Moore's capacities are. Confirms competence. Doubt not, I asked. Bribe bench? Corrupt call? She said, systems scarred, not septic. Evidence ours. Sanity solid, motives mercenary. Moore's morrow, 50 sharp. Eyes empathetic scalpels. 2-hour gauntlet. Memory mazes, logic wraparints, finance fathoms, emotion evals. Above average, Renee, excellent, not endangered. I asked, why this? Post-proofs. She said, elder exploitation archetype, prevalent plague. Validated valor, shadowed sorrow. Suits substance, necessity's knife. Club crisis convene, outrage orchestra. Testify, Nori avowed, clarity incarnate. Cynthia said, stronger than 40s. Alfreda said, generations, greed, grift. But you, docs, defenders, dames, unbreakable. Hope hardened. Army assembled. I asked, the saddest? Reconciliation raised for riches, irreversible. Cynthia said, best balm? Truth unveiled, act armed. Night's nectar, grief's goodbye. No more dream dad Max, illusion intact family. Emerged, ironclad intent. Dignity defended, freedom forged, war waged, woman whole.
Trial dawned 3 weeks on. Alarm pre-dawn, black suit donned. Armor of ash and resolve. Mirror met, 71, forged, fierce, dignity's diadem. Weber's dawn drill, burden theirs, incompetence proven, ours refute. Judge Miller, fair famed, elder sentinel. Hallway haze, Max suited stiff, Lena funeral funereal, our ties tomb. Eyes met, Max averted, Lena's ice on melting. Their counsel, silver slick veteran, victory veteran. Opening onslaught. Your Honor, Renata Richter's decline dire. Funds frozen sand sense, paranoia parapets, isolation induced by interlopers exploiting vulnerability. Empowerment eclipsed eccentricity. Witnesses cued, Lena's lachrymose legerdemain. Tears torrenting, second mom myth, devastating decline. Weber's cross. Last non-pecuniary call date? Stammers. Varied topics? Specific? Can't recall. Wedding invite absent? Intimate. Context for special people slight. Redden retreat. Max mounted, generous ghost, erratic emergent. Worried, manipulated. Weber whittled. $33,400 maternal munificence. Approximate. Visits void of asks. Silence. Seismic. Home heist. Power push. Worried. Help. Rent reliance at 35. Dignity drowned. Davis droned. Erratic exhibits. Weber. Direct discourse. Depth. None. Observations. Leyland lectured. Refusal. Ravage. Moore's missive. Mauled. Cognition crestfallen? No. Cogent. Our offensive. Green groveled. Gullible, not gospel. More magnified. Metrics masterful. Summers swore. Transfers terminated. Tenable. Eleanor et al. Extolled. Vitality vivid. Bonds bona fide. My stand. Assent assured. Gaze sweeping. Son stranger, but self sovereign. We were wove. Ledgers laid. Humiliations hashed. Manipulations mapped. Why withhold? Love's lie unveiled. Voice vultured. Clarion. Transaction, not ties. Funds fetid, flesh forsaken. Regret? Delay in discernment. Crossfire? Confusion conjured. Queries quashed. Crisp? Collected. Friendships feigned. Respect reciprocal. Riches? Remote. Closings clashed. Theirs manipulation martyr. Weber's wallop. Not incompetence, independence. No med malaise, mere mercenary ire at autonomy asserted. Deliberations drag. 2 hours eternal. Return, Miller measured. Evidence unequivocal. Renata Richter, faculties full. Evaluations endorse. Decisions deplorable to some, defensible to the law. Motive, mammon, not mercy. Guardianship, groundless. Victory's verdict, vindication visceral. Freedom fortified, dignity diamond. Courthouse corridors, Max Lena huddle hostile. Her hatred honed his hint, regret, eclipsed. Eleanor's revel, house alight, club chorus cheering, toast to triumph, sisterhood's symphony. Alfreda anointed, life reclaimed Renata, not suit, soul. Apt. Future unfurled, house sold, city center condo claimed, cozy, mine. Half hoard to elder abuse bastions, half horizons hunted. Europe enveloped, Paris patisseries, Rome ruins, art ateliers awakened, volunteer vines verdant. Max Lena echoes evanescence. Whispers, downsized dire, Lena labored, adversity's anvil, perhaps forging fortitude my funds forsook. Balcony stars, nights now, a year ago phantom, fear fettered, love locutive, extinct. Reborn, truth's tenet, love ledgerless, liberty lavish. My name is Renata, 72 now, schooled, paramount protectee, self. If this saga stirred, sustain. Donation doles more tales. Your stance shouldered? Spill comments. Cravings crave kin thoughts. Sourced. Share. More lives loom. Like. Subscribe. Heartfelt hail. Till next.